All right, Nyghtstorm Nation. I have on the phone with me an incredible individual. He is a graduate of both Morehouse College and the University of Michigan, where he was one of the youngest African Americans to receive his PhD in clinical psychology. He is also a professional speaker, media personality, parenting teen and relationship consultant, as well as a wonderful father. He has appeared on ABC's Nightline, MTV's Made, TV One's Black Men Reveal, Fantasia For Real, BET's 106 and Park, Gospel Touch, and over 30 radio broadcasts. He is a CNN, HLN, Court TV correspondent, and is the author of a self-help masterpiece entitled The Ring Formula: How to Be the Only One He Ever Needs. So, ladies and gentlemen of Nyghtstorm Nation, it is my honor, privilege, and pleasure to introduce to you the People's Doctor, Dr. Alduan TARTT. How you doing, sir?
What's going on, YG? You know, we go way, way back, my friend. They don't know that. We go back to the beginning, seeing you destroy the competition in every dance-off, every band, always at the high school, man. So it is an honor. It is an honor and a pleasure.
All right. I mean, you done brought back some old stuff from way back in 92. And we're going to talk a little bit about that at the end. But Dr. TARTT, you know, the reason why I wanted your expertise, because Toby and I, we have been having a discussion about suicide and how very, very real suicide is to pretty much different relationships. And since you are the expert on relationships and you've written your wonderful book, The Ring Formula, you really get into some of the pitfalls of relationships and how to get things going. But, sir, I wanted to bring up something. Now, there was a young lady named Gia Alamad, and she was 29 years old. She was dating an NBA ball player named Ryan Anderson. I think he played for the New Orleans Pelicans. And she was a previous contestant on ABC's The Bachelor. Now, her and Ryan had gotten into a very, very wicked argument, and she was accusing him of cheating, and the relationship just failed. And she got so upset that they broke up. She said that she loved him, but he said, I don't love you anymore. So she got so upset, doctor, that she had spoke to her mom, and her mom was worried, told Ryan to go over there and check on her. By the time he got there, Dr. TARTT, she had hung herself and killed herself.
Oh, my God.
And he found her dead, and this happened just recently on August 14th. And, sir, I know you hear about situations like these, and you know, no matter what part of the world I'm in, and when I'm talking to folks about the very, very dangers of suicide and how toxic relationships can lead to suicide, not just depression, but toxic relationships involving folks' emotions. And this young lady, she killed herself. She was only 29 years old, Doc. So what is your aspect to a situation like this, and how can we help some folks not go this route, sir?
Well, one, realize that, I don't know the details of the case, but realize that the first thing is that we are responsible for our own happiness. That is not our partner's job. That's probably the biggest mistake that I see, is that when things go wrong with our partners, what we tend to do is blame them and say, you're making me unhappy, or you're messing up my life, or you're ruining things, or this is not what I signed up for. When in reality, yes, relationships make us feel good and they can make us feel bad, but in healthy relationships, each partner has something that they can do, has friends that they can hang with, and has hobbies that allow them to get back to a place of health. So the first thing is take care of yourself. It's not your partner's responsibility to make you happy. It's your individual responsibility. Relationships has ups and downs. And the second thing is depression. We have to make sure that when we get depressed, when we're sad, when we're in pain, that we talk about it. I think the biggest mistake that we make, especially with men who also commit suicide. Matter of fact, I think we commit suicide more successfully. And that sounds weird, but I mean, when men try suicide, they succeed. And a lot of times when women do it, they don't succeed. It's a cry for help. But in this case, a life was lost. So, like I said, recapping. 1, take responsibility for your own health and your happiness. And then 2, when you're in pain, when you're depressed, talk about it so that the pain can go through you and not happen to you.
Yes. And Dr. TARTT, I am so happy that you brought that up about people's transparency. Because, I have been very, very open and blunt about my own issues with clinical depression. I was diagnosed 20 years ago. And I have, tried to commit suicide back when I was homeless about 20 years ago. And, I'm very open when I'm talking to folks about being transparent and being honest with yourself, being honest with your feelings, and finding help when you need it. And unfortunately, sir, like you said, a lot of us men, we are so afraid of people judging us. We are so afraid of letting our real selves be exposed because we think some idiot is going to talk about us or try to measure our manhood because we have some issues or we have some weaknesses. So can you really, really hammer that in, sir, that all the people that you have talked to, all the male patients that you have talked to in your practice, that it's actually normal and healthy for someone to actually express what they're feeling, sir?
Why do you right on it? And I commend you in being open and being salt to the earth and being a strong man that's telling other men that this is the way you're supposed to handle it. We're taught that to talk about our feelings is weak, but that is the absolute wrong thing. If something happens in our life, if there's pain, and a lot of times it happens in our childhood, if we don't talk about it, that is making us worse. See, pain is something that is supposed to be felt and dealt with. But what we tend to do is that when we have those painful memories or those thoughts, we tend to try and shut them down, block them out, smoke them out, drink them out, sleep them out, take it out on other people instead of just dealing with it. Mm-hmm. The strongest thing to do for both men and women is to realize that, hey, we do hurt, and to deal with that pain so that it can go away. Pain is the most powerful emotion of all the emotions. Pain. You can't even love if you're in pain. Not well. You can't succeed if you're in pain because the only thing that you're focused on is either holding on to that pain or avoiding that pain. But if you deal with the pain, you're able to go through a season of, yes, it hurts, yes, the feelings are there, but then you're able to heal the same way you are medically. So if you're out there listening and you're in pain right now, the solution is to find someone to talk about it. That is the best thing to do. And for men, the thing that's the hardest is the thing that you should do. Is it easy to hold on to this and let it destroy you and your family, your relationships, and your own love for yourself? Or should you talk about it? Talking about it is going to be the harder thing to do, but it's the right thing to do, and that actually is manhood, which is talking about your feelings versus let it destroy you.
See, and I think that is absolutely brilliant, Dr. TARTT. I was talking to a couple of gentlemen, and they were saying we appreciate the fact that you're being transparent about some things you went through. And I openly talked about me being raped when I was a child in 1985. But I was so hurt by what had happened to me, and I was so afraid to talk to people that it started to grow, and that bitterness started to grow in me, and I felt that I had no support, and I was angry, and that anger fed into my relationships, and it fed into my marriage when I was 20 years old, and things just did not happen right for me because I was carrying around all of this anger and this bitterness, and I did not want to talk about it, and it was very toxic, Doc, and it was one of the components to help destroy my first marriage and lead to a suicide attempt. Because I felt alone, I felt scared to be exposed. And I find it refreshing when I find folks like yourself, sir, who tell grown men, whether they 6'8" and 330 pounds or 5'5" and 120 pounds, your manhood is not tested by what has happened to you. Your manhood is validated by what you do. And telling folks and telling them to get this stuff out and showing them that is a part of being a man. I commend you, sir, and because we're afraid to talk about this stuff, Doc.
You're right. I mean, you're a living testament as to what you've done out in the community, but turning other people in the direction of strength and talking about the feelings. It's just that we're trained the wrong way. When things happen in our childhood, it's like a snake bites you. And when you're snake bitten, you have a choice. Mm-hmm. Either you can suck the pain out and spit it out and get it out of your system, or you can hide it and let the venom kill you. See, it's not the snake bite that kills us. When we look at people, a lot of people have been through things. But it's those of us that refuse to talk about it, refuse to let that negative energy out. We hold on to it because of a variety of reasons: shame, not having the proper model, not having the proper advice, not knowing how to deal with it, thinking that it's better to hold on to it versus to let it out because what's the purpose? It's already happened. But the reality is you have to let the venom out or you're going to become venomous, either to yourself or to your family. You are bigger than the snake bite. Snake bites we recover from. Hey, wounds we can recover from. People saying things, soul murder, physical abuse, sexual abuse, abandonment, neglect, people doing you wrong. You can recover from it when you take the venom, spit it out, and then move forward. We all can recover. Don't hold pain in. When you hold pain in, pain is so powerful, it consumes you. It will attract other pain. Here's the weird thing, my G. When you stay the pain, what you'll do, because the pain wants to come out, the pain will either make you so sad that you'll want to hurt yourself, or the pain will attract other pain into your life. Because you need someone that's going to put you in pain to give you an excuse and a reason to finally open up. And when it comes out, it's extreme because all those feelings have been there for years. So the stronger thing to do is to talk about it and let the pain out so that you can go on with your life. Pain happens to you. You are not pain. I'm going to say that again. Pain happens to you, but you are not pain. If you can separate yourself from your pain, then your life will return.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, now we're going to deal with this relationship stuff because unfortunately in relationships you have a great deal of rejection. Every relationship is not meant to last forever. Everybody that you date, they can't put a ring on it. You just can't do that.
No, I know.
I mean, we are grown men here and we have lived a life and, we understand that everybody you date, it's not going to be the one. And you're going to deal with rejection. Either you are the rejectee or the rejector. But a lot of folks out there, Dr. TARTT, when they are dealing with rejection, they take it so hard that they use that as an excuse, or maybe I need to kill myself. Maybe I'm just not good enough. Maybe it's something wrong with me. How come he rejected me? How come she rejected me? How come she doesn't want to marry me? I'm different. There's just something wrong with me. So can you please, sir, elaborate with all of the wonderful experience and all of the couples that you have helped? Can you let folks know that rejection is kind of a part of trying to find the right one?
You're right on it. What happens is we tend to make one bad relationship bigger than what it really is. So we'll say we hate men, or I hate women. When in reality, you hate her. You hate that one person.
Yeah.
Or you hate how that person treated you. And so what happens, I see a lot of people is that they don't date enough people to really get a good assessment about who they are. And we are sometimes who we date. And that's why if the person that we're dating is unhealthy, or they're at a point where they're not able to help us, or sometimes they make us worse. There's some people you can date that put you at your absolute worst. That's when you have to kind of step back and say, all right, is this relationship healthy or toxic? But here's something that a lot of people are unaware of. We date toxic people when we are looking to fix a problem. It's called attraction to deprivation. Attraction to deprivation. And this is, when the show was on Love Addiction on TV One, this is what we help people figure out, is that you're not really attracted to that person. You're attracted to that person because they remind you of someone in the past, and you're trying to fix stuff. You're trying to fix stuff, and this person reminds you of that person that didn't get it. And what the brain does is it finds people similar to the ones that have rejected us or didn't do us right, and our hope is that they'll treat us right. But when we realize that, we realize that we've set ourselves up for permanent failure by picking someone that has no ability to meet our needs. The second thing is, rejection is not rejection of who you are as a person. Like you said, YG, it's really about fit and saying this doesn't fit. We're not a good fit. Doesn't mean that I'm better than you. We just don't fit. Some things don't go together, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And the third thing is, there are a lot of couples out there that make the mistake of when they argue, they think that they're supposed to persuade the other person. And when they're unable to persuade the other person, they get angry. But couples that stay together never or rarely try to persuade. All they try to do, YG, is understand their partner's perspective. That's it. See, YG, if we have an argument, and if we are going to get along and have an argument, my job is not to persuade you. Your job is not to persuade me. I'm only supposed to see it your way, and you're only supposed to see it my way. But we don't have to agree. So I can say, I see based upon, how you were brought up, how you would want to have family outings, always at your parents' house. And then you could say, well, Alduan, I can see how the way you were brought up, you want to have family outings out of town at different locations, like vacation. We don't have to agree. Mm-hmm. All we have to do is support each other's opinions. And when couples start doing that, then they can cut down on the toxic relationships that make all of us want to run and hide and run away.
Now, you talk about hitting the nose on the target, okay? Because, Toby and I, we've been married for almost 14 years now, Doc. And
congratulations.
And thank you. Appreciate that, sir. Appreciate that. And, we have had our share of wars and battles. And the one thing that we have learned is that, there is a such thing as called compromise. And sometimes there's a such thing as we going to have to just agree to disagree. Okay, but that is not going to affect our relationship towards each other, because she is a completely different person than I, and I am a completely different person from her. And I have to always remind myself why I fell in love with her in the first place, because she's not my clone. She's not. She's a different person, and I have to respect her differences. And going back to the point when you was talking about folks are looking for similarities, to me, a lot of that sounds like a bunch of bad homeostasis. Okay, they are so used to being treated a certain way that has become their norm. And so even if they're not with that person anymore who did them that way, they're going to find that same quality, that same characteristic in this next new guy or that next new chick, and say, okay, now I'm going to probably try to change them because this is what I'm used to. And that's the homeostasis, being used to something and accepting something as your reality. So, Doc, your expertise is wonderful. And I really got to bring this book up one more time, The Ring Formula, because it has helped so many people. And I have watched you for so many years, pretty much come from your book and come from your own background. And you have helped thousands of people on so many different platforms. So is there one last thing out of all of your vast knowledge and wisdom, sir, that you want to tell folks about suicide and why not to do it?
Number one, when you're feeling like you want to hurt yourself, realize that's a temporary emotion, and you don't want to make a permanent decision for a temporary emotion. Second thing, talk about your feelings. It allows you to get the pain out so that you can go on with your life. You have a life outside of pain. And then three, realize that God loves you. He sends us through ups and downs, and that sometimes your relationships go good, sometimes they go bad, but we always live to go to a new day to figure out how to either be better, pick better partners, or to love ourselves better. So anyone out there thinking about it right now, they're listening to this, I want to give you a resource, 1-800-SUICIDE. Talk to someone. Talk to someone and make sure that you don't make a permanent decision to a temporary problem so that you can live the life that God has ordained for you to live. So absolutely, YG. I appreciate it. Anyone out there that wants to go and read The Ring Formula, it's available on my website at drtartt.com. That's DRTARTT. .com, or you can order it right off of Amazon, The Ring Formula, How to Be the Only One He'll Ever Need. And what people don't realize is that this is a book about stories. This is about how people found love. This is about how people date again, find again. And it comes from an entertaining standpoint, a psychological standpoint, but it also comes from a Christian standpoint. But that sneaks up on you, towards the end. So anyone out there that wants to be blessed, that's overloaded. All acknowledgement goes to, my personal Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, man. So I appreciate it, YG.
There you go. And and folks, this is why I have my personal heroes on Nyghtstorm's All Action New Talk, because, like I said, I've been knowing Alduan since, way back in the day. My children call it the dinosaur age, But I tell you, Dr. TARTT, you have always been one of those individuals that stood out, and you have always believed in what you believed, and you have always preached what you walked. And I appreciate your authenticity, because real recognize real. So I want to let the Nyghtstorm Nation know this is why I have been inspired by Dr. Alduan TARTT. You one of my heroes, brother. Thank you very much, man.
No, I appreciate it, man, and I want to let you know, when you're ready, I want my rematch in that dance-off that you beat me 3-4 times in high school. I want my rematch. You won every time, but, I'm ready. I've been practicing.
You've been practicing. Boy, you ain't ready, Doc. Stay in your lane now. Stay in your lane, bro. Stay there now. I love you, and I don't want to hurt your feelings now, but stay in your lane. You the man where you at. So I ain't going to come over there, and you don't come over here. How about that?
Yeah, I love my lesson, man. I just want to throw that out there. Yeah, y'all don't know about Nyghtstorm, one of the baddest dancers in the nation. I'm not talking about in Georgia, in the nation. And you know me, thinking I can do everything. I tried them. Yeah, and I lost that in front of a whole pep rally. But that's okay. That's okay.
well, Dr. TARTT, I think you bounced back pretty good. If you lost anything, you just simply learned some humility, and then you say, I'm going to be an expert in what I'm going to be an expert in, and I'm going to be number one in my field. And Dr. Alduan TARTT, the author of The Ring Formula, How to Be the Only One He Ever Needs, is the number one love doctor, people's doctor, any kind of doctor. All these phonies that's out here trying to be him, they ain't him. He is the numero uno, because real recognize real. Thank you, Dr. TARTT, and you have a good night, sir.
All right, YG, God bless.
All right.